back in our LP of Mask of the Betrayer, we have been talking to some of our allies, but let's hand in our sort of main story quest by going to talk to the witches. Now that we've dealt with Oku by sort of, attaching him to our party, they should be a little more cooperative. Obviously this whole Spirit Eater thing is going to attract their attention a little bit. There's this badger in the northern part of town near the Berserker Lodge. He's sort of annoying, but actually if you're using Suppress and you need another spirit handy and you want to rest in a safe area, he's actually kind of convenient. He will also become important, well, not important, but relevant later. As I mentioned, I haven't done the events at the Berserker Lodge yet. It's a really big fight, and I want to make sure that I'm ready for it before I try it. So we go visit the witches, and they call us an abomination because, well, I guess we kind of are. And, we can say we still don't know what's going on. And Oku actually steps up to our defense. And they kind of argue against him, and you sort of point out that he's supposed to be one of their gods and they should probably be nicer, which of course Oku is happy with. Anyway, they'll give you a little bit of background, and well, they actually won't give you a little bit of background. They don't know very much either. They do know that there's this guy called the Woodman who dealt with Spirit Eaters in the past. So they suggest we go talk to him. He did, however, kill a lot of them, so we might have to end up fighting him. We'll also ask about Magda, who we had at the beginning of was the owner of the theater. She's not that important, but she's a merchant, and she does sell a couple items I'm going to need. So I'm going to go have a chat with Magda. Here we are back at the Vale, and the players for the theater, who were all hiding on the side here when we had our little fight with the Red Wizard, are now back. And they more or less say that they were held in protective custody. And, they give you a little background that Leanna essentially came in covered with blood. But, and apparently was with a fan. So, Sophia speculates that she's not in the party, but she's still part of the conversation, even though she's in the back room. That's why she knew Leanna. And Magda talks about a secret room, and she's got the key to it. So this is another one of the options we have. And do you sell any hats or masks? Now, she sells a lot of just items for enchanting. The item I'm going to pick up here is Finch's Finest Hat, which is just better than my Greater Mask of Persuasion, although it looks kind of a little silly. The Nymph Cloak +6 I may also buy as well. Tragedian here is, well, it has its uses. Again, a lot of these items give big bonuses to some of the social skills, but since I don't have any of the base skills, it may not really be high enough. And she sells some other minor items, including a Chime of Opening if you were really concerned about locks. But yeah, obviously it doesn't work on the big locks, so it doesn't matter. So we'll buy Finch's Finest Hat. And I'm also going to... I'm going to sell it. Yeah, I'll sell the Greater Mask of Persuasion. The hat does not give the concentration bonus, but it does give a bonus to diplomacy, and it gives me the same charisma bonus. Normally I would give this cloak of fortification to one of my other party members. This is an item you'll probably end up using till the end of the game. Anyway, that was pretty much all that's there to do with Magda. Magda also mentions the blood on the operating table in there, and you can speculate that it was in fact your blood. It seems likely that that's how the shard got out of you, was that Leanna took it out. Which, you know, it's a part of the puzzle.
And how may I honor you?
Now that we have a little bit more diplomacy, let's try something else
here. Ask what you will,
here.
and I will do my best to answer.
And we'll ask him to tell him a little about himself.
A little? There is so much to tell. And to think you'd only want to hear the smallest bit of it. I am insulted. What? Do you think I am some sort of long-winded braggart? My, your charm spells seem to be failing one by one. Oh, well now, that is a different matter. I am Ganayev, Gan of Dreams, he who walks in the dreams of the people of Rashomon, especially the passionate dreams of farmers' daughters. I make deals with spirits, speak with the mountains and forests, and tell tales of old that bubble up from the brooks and streams of this land.
And, you know...
Now there's a tale. Actually, I was born from no mother or father, but from dream itself. I was conceived as an idea, a stray thought that had to fend for itself in this harsh land. It made me strong, capable, and ruggedly handsome.
He's, interesting.
Indeed, stepped fresh and whole from the sleeping minds of this great land, able to walk in and out of dreams at my whim and my will.
That, ends up being useful later, but it'll be... well, it becomes relevant in Chapter 2. So we'll see that soon enough.
Do I look like a hag spawn? Come now.
So I'm gonna ask him, shall we trade bits of background?
This track of yours, and lack of time. Is there something else you
and
wish
I guess
to
my
ask?
diplomacy still isn't high enough. Finches gives +8, and I have cast grit or heroism, so I have a 19 diplomacy. I think I need a 22, and I don't think I'm actually going to be able to get high enough. It's just a little more influence with Gan. Let's talk to Kaelin.
Are you all right?
Yeah, is there some reason you're looking at me
When your
like
spirit
that?
powers emerged against the bear god, I felt drawn to you, as if your hunger was testing my spirit as well. You need to learn more about this curse, and soon. I fear for you, for all of us, if your power grows further.
And, you know, there's more to this conversation, but none of it really matters.
Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours.
I'll ask Kaelin a little bit about her background.
I sought to lead a crusade against the city of the dead, to correct the injustice I saw there. If the universe would not remove the wall of the faithless, then I would. I was not the first to feel this way. Have I told you of the first crusade? The war of Akachi against the wall of the faithless? He was a faithful adherent of Merkel, lord of the dead those many centuries ago, before the rise of Kelemvor.
Well, that's another little bit of information. We're learning a little more about Akachi as we go.
Yes, one of Merkel's chosen ones, in fact. He dispensed justice in Merkel's name and hunted the enemies of his god across the plains. But when one he loved fell victim to Merkel's laws, he appealed to his god and was rebuked.
And we can be somewhat petulant. Made Merkel see things my way.
I think not. Merkel took amusement in certain deaths and punishments, and until his end he was never swayed from his judgments.
Merkel was the old
The
evil
one who
god
loved
of the dead.
Akachi, she did not worship the gods, any god, let alone the god of her beloved, Merkel. There is a punishment for ones who carry such beliefs. No matter how virtuous their lives, those who do not believe in the gods will suffer upon the wall of the faithless until their souls are no more.
And, yeah. You can actually be very evil and say, punishment, a fitting reward for a virtuous life. But saying that it's unjust gives you influence with Kalen.
Once they are on the wall, they die again. And it is not a quick death. It is a slow slide. It is agony until their souls are dissolved into the wall. They decay until they are destroyed completely, utterly.
As you can tell, this is kind of an important issue for Kalen.
Akachi's sense of justice would not permit him to accept even the words of his own god if he felt they were unjust, nor would he accept the wall that encircled Myrkle's city. So he gathered allies, great lieutenants of dragonkind, divas, and even the undead to his side. He attacked Myrkle and was crushed. No, not failure. Inspiration. But the tale lives on. It lives on in me, in others, who saw what Akachi tried to do. And in his tale we take strength, and we continue his war. For the wall of the faithless is not just. It must be cast down.
This is actually an error. I think you attacking the architecture of a god. It doesn't sound right. But we'll agree that it sounds like a cruel punishment because we want more influence with Kalen.
I am pleased to hear you say that. Sometimes I fear that I am alone in my beliefs, and I question them. Myrkle's construct has passed to Kelemvor, the new god of the dead. He is set in his ways, and is as deaf to appeals as Myrkle was. There must be justice in this life, and in death. I am bound to both, but I am not bound to accept their laws.
Yeah, she's very chaotic. I think she's actually neutral good, but she's very chaotic in what she says.
Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours.
And, you can also ask your companions to you can gossip about the companions you have. It doesn't really tell you a whole lot. Now that Caitlin's influence is higher when we talk to her again...
I am glad we have time to speak. There is something I wish to share with you. A protection of sorts to aid you in our travels. You met my brother and sister in Wolfentyr. Unknown to many, my siblings and I share strength as members of the menagerie. A blessing I wish to convey upon you.
And, you can politely refuse.
I thought perhaps you might say such a thing. But it has already been done, and I will not permit you to return such a gift, even if you were able to. It is a protective ward that enables focus even when one is in tremendous pain, and allows one to resist wounds and ailments that assault the body so the mind can remain pure. It will aid you in the struggles ahead, perhaps even help you resist what consumes you.
And, you can refuse again, or you can just say thank you.
So be it. It is done. Even should we part company, or I perish, the blessing will remain. Neither time nor evil shall chip at it, and it will help you until the end of your days.
Well, that's handy. Kalen's bonus here, Blessing of the Menagerie, gives +2 wisdom and +2 fortitude saves. Given that I kind of need the wisdom, that's actually very useful. It means that I can actually take off this Talisman of Pure Good, because without it, I have Wisdom 19 with nothing on. It still shows up in blue here because it's a bonus, so if you export this character to the wrong campaign, they won't have that bonus anymore because the feat's not coded, but whatever. It counts as a permanent bonus towards your abilities, so if you want to qualify for things like, what's it called, Epic Divine Might, Gan's bonus gives a bonus to Charisma, and that'll help you qualify for it. But that was an important piece of the puzzle as far as these things go. And now I guess I can use my Parry Out of the Law switch, which the immunity to criticals is kind of important because I don't have a lot of hit points. Now that we have that mountain of conversation out of the way, I'm just going to end this particular episode. Next time, we're going to look at some of the doors and areas that opened up now that people are no longer afraid of the Spirit Army and sort of fully explore Mulcentyr.